there's hardly any profanity in mine, so if you were expecting lots of swearing, there's probably not any. 4 weeks ago I just bought a house. I now live with my partner. Partner. I have 2 dogs. One is 6 months old. He's a sausage dog. He's very small. He can't fit in anything. Takes me a while to get used to anything. But and he's called Frank because he's a Frankfurter shape. Don't know why. But because I am a 24-year-old white millennial that has no idea how the world works, I end up Googling a lot of my issues, especially like the basic stuff. For starters, our neighbour hasn't even been in the house once, and we've been there for 4 weeks, and I'm kind of stressed that I don't even know where they are. I don't know if they're dead or anything, but we'll talk about that later. Which is why rich snippets are really popular, because I end up Googling a lot of my issues, and the first result that I see is normally an info box that'll explain everything for me. But with everything, as a disclaimer, as with many SEO methods, this is not a hard and fast rule. Many of these rich snippets might have appeared years ago and they've just kind of stayed there and no one's really optimized for it. We all know what Google algorithms are like. Any methods I do speak about here are not 100% guaranteed to work. They're just a project thing that we've been working on and confused and have worked for us. But yeah, if you wanted me to speak about anything in particular aside from this talk, then just come and grab me afterwards and we can chat about it. So, Ahrefs analysed about 2 million results to deduce that 11.3% of search results have a featured snippet. 70% of featured snippets come from those that rank lower than position 1. So for those that are maybe in a competing or fluctuating perhaps between position 3 and 2, which can often happen with some high volume keywords like car insurance and things like that, there is the huge opportunity for you to kind of try and get those top spots. Rich snippets tend to steal clicks. I put that in inverted commas because when you do have a rich snippet, there is the likelihood that you might just read the snippet and be like, oh, I've got all the info I need, so am I really going to click on it? And that's the only drawback from it. But also that search terms with lower search volumes tend to rank for these snippets easier, so really specific questions, like, I don't know, how to measure a dress in a proper width or height, things like that, something really, really niche. But the benefits are of rich snippets that it's a trustworthy resource for users because they see it at the top, they think it's an authoritative link, which is why 3/4 of the search results you might see, say, you're searching for a particular film and you want to know its rating on Rotten Tomatoes or something. Wikipedia, 9 times out of 10 will always appear for that anyway, and people think that's a great source, I'll use that as my gospel source, but it's not really guaranteed that that's true. But there is the fact that there's a brand awareness part of this. A lot of people know Wikipedia, for example. Mobile SERPs, so when you are looking through mobile for these specific kind of questions, there is a larger takeover of the page as you would imagine, so it's much more obvious to the user. You're inadvertently ranking for voice search, because you can then eventually, hopefully in the future, be like, Alexa, tell me where the nearest supermarket is to me, and it'll tell you that without even needing to look through a specific search or like a definition of a really complicated word, things like that. The main takeaways from rich snippets are that you're getting increased traffic organically and that you're improving click-through rate. And even if you feel like you're not doing your best at optimizing rich snippets or you're not having as much luck, you're still implementing best practices for organic SEO anyway. So overall, it's still a good idea. So, at Confused, how have we tried to do it? First of all, we've essentially kind of split the mass amount of keywords that there are. You could go on forever about the number of keywords into some categories. So, question keywords. Like if you're looking for something quite broad, like how do I buy a house? When do I put the first payment down on deposit? Things like that. Preposition keywords. comparison keywords. We went through quite a lot of different estate agents until we found our dream house, and they were very frustrating, and they still ring us up now saying, are you still looking for a house? I'm like, I just bought a house with you. And they're like, yeah, but do you still want to go to an appointment, you know? And I'm like, no, I just bought a house with you. Can you please fuck off? So, like, that kind of thing, you want to, like, check out what the best ones are for you. Informational keywords, like really content insurance, define what is content insurance, define, I don't know, transactional keywords, like buy a house in Cardiff. These kind of keywords are almost optimal to like kind of rank for because they're quite specific, and when you're doing a transactional purchase, you're more inclined to kind of go in and make that, take that forward with the purchase. And of course, low volume, search volume keywords, so like home insurance on an exchange of contracts, what happens when I misplace my keys, things that are quite technical. But also there are some keywords that aren't really the best ones to try and rank for, i.e. ones that you will read the info box and be like, yeah, I've got all the info I need, so I don't need to click on this. These can be like, how old do I need to be to get a tattoo? Where's the nearest McDonald's? How do I make my dog sit? How do I make him just be quiet? Keywords that may not have the, always have the answer within the info box itself, are not always the best ones to rank for. However, according to Ahrefs data, you only lose about 4% on average of your click-through rate compared to, say, one that you might need a bit more information on before you proceed with something. So, before we go into kind of like how you can actually try and implement these methods for yourself, think about what your website's doing at the moment. Why are you not already pulling through for these rich snippets? Does your competitor have more relevant, specific niche content that you might not already be trying to optimize for yourself? Is their content structured in a nice way? Is it really easy to read? Is it spaced out nicely? You know, is it like 2 sentences per paragraph, something like that? Is it bulleted lists? Are there any other SEO factors you might not be optimizing for, not as much as others? So, like, you know, does a meta description need analyzing? Do you think you need more better internal linking? Are you missing anything really small, even alt tags, for example? What can you make your content do to be more evergreen, inviting, and as specific and niche as possible that will also give value to your users? So, keep clicking and it's thinking it's doing it, but then I'm looking. Right, so the method. First of all, we'll use Google Analytics for this. This is one method you can use without using paid tools or anything like that. So to get to this, go into Search Console queries, and then filter it down to specific words, so like what, where, how, why, who, best, UK, compare, any other preposition, keyword, or suitable word that you could think of that you think I need to optimize for this kind of keyword. From here, what you can envisage already before I even tell you what to do next is you're going to have loads and loads of spreadsheets with millions of keywords, and you're going to be like, well, realistically, I can't sift through all these keywords and try and optimize for every single one. So from where you'll have mass files of keywords, well, the best thing to do from that is trying to sift through and think about it from a business perspective. Which keywords do you believe are going to give you the most value? And you can do that from checking the impressions, the CTR of the current keywords that are clicking through already. So you can remove it from 1,000 to maybe a couple of hundred and spit it out and analyze which ones will be the most important for you. If you do have access to paid tools, I do recommend SEMrush's Keyword Magic tool. It has on the sidebar a lot of different suggestions for keywords based on other keywords, and they also provide prepositions for those keywords as well. So you can help sift through those as well, and they can give you the value based on their data for that. And they also do generate feature snippet reports as well, so they can also help you kind of determine what they think is the best keywords for you at the time, and you can try and optimize for those when you can. Ahrefs also do feature snippet reports. You can either go through these from their organic keywords reports, or they're very specific feature snippet reports under Keyword Explorer. What I tend to do within Confused is, because we have access to these tools as well, we tend to cross-reference with each of the tools. Although that's not accessible for absolutely everybody, that's quite a good idea to understand which keywords are more specific and you can analyse which ones are going to be better for you. So, how should the keywords be displayed, or the content? So I've split this down into 3 different sections. So the first one is content. If you're looking for a keyword that's quite specific, or you're like, I haven't ranked for this keyword before, I don't really have an article or a guide on it, Confused has quite a lot of articles and specific pieces of content already. So we tried to rejig or revamp the current content we've already got. So for rich snippets, if you're trying to rank for an info box, it's normally the magic number of 40 to 60 words in a small, nice paragraph. Are you targeting keywords that are holistic or specific? Are you clustering similar, smaller topics into one to utilise an existing page to kind of update that content? Or are you making a brand new page, new keywords, new content? Maybe not. Maybe it's a new product you're trying to launch on your site, something like that. And it's always also important to remember that Google values the EAT kind of level of content, so the expertise, the authoritativeness, the trustworthiness of your content. So ensuring that it's valuable all the time and guaranteeing that you can get these rich snippets. So when you're structuring your content, maybe you want it in a bulleted list. If you have the capability, if you're doing a large list, I'd put it in a bulleted list or a numbered list. You could also try it in tables, if you feel that you can do that with your content. You can also use data sets and specific data to kind of bring it back together. So, for example, Google's already launched this beta edition of the data set tool. The link's on the side there. We've used it for some specific data on convictions in cars and driving laws and things like that. We've learned at Confused that bringing data to our content is allowed to give us a specific hook. So, and they've guaranteed us the more impressions, interactions with the users, as well as give us an extra PR hook if they wanted to push it out for specific link acquisition pieces and things like that. So we've benefited from things like FOI requests, pulling data from data set search or things like that, or doing other things like one polls and things like that for PR perspective. And also, it goes without saying that schema.org, while it's whether it's going to be as valuable as it is, I still believe it's very valuable for users. It's just identifying which ones are more of a quick win, or if you're thinking about doing a longer project on schema. So, for example, on Confused, we've recently tested more specific stuff like postal schema, like the addresses and where we're based, percentages. We've tried to use schema for specific data sets that can be pulled through. So people can how many accidents have happened in the UK in 2016, or tailgating, things like that, really specific stuff for car insurance. But we're currently testing question and answer schema. So we're using this on a couple of our landing pages to say which kind of insurance is right for me, for example, and we can provide a list of if you're looking for specific motorbike insurance, do you have a quad bike? We'll separate you down to a quad bike insurance or something like that. And how to check your progress. So it's up to you how you would like to track it. You can track it through just a manual search on your own. AWR Cloud is really good for checking your rankings anyway. Rank Tracker in Ahrefs is really good to check for specific keywords. And also SEMrush organic traffic data. So, why are we trying to do this? Well, we started this project in July of this year, and since then we've seen an increased level of organic traffic, CTR, and overall SEO performance. This is an example we've tried with top cars to ensure. As soon as we started optimizing this guy, so you can see that it's quite flat into the spike. So we decided to change the top cast ratio into a table, and like list all the different insurance groups and things like that. And since then we've had a plus 12% in organic traffic since August. Our CTR has increased by 3%, which yes, they're quite small numbers, but for guides and things like within a massive website is really good for us. But for this particular guide, we also moved the guide to be under a more relevant category. So before it was just under car insurance just randomly, whereas now it's under car insurance for guides, so it's under a very technical term now. And I think we've generally seen a much more improvement, like overall, even with us positions and things like that. Next. Case studies. So I've got two examples also that we've been trying to work on thus far. The first one is car valuation. So car valuation is more of a transactional keyword. It's very basic. It's just literally the definition, if you like. It has a 90,500 search volume. It's a really popular keyword. It's also one of our most popular web pages that people pull through to. So we felt like it was key for us to try and optimize for this page. We changed a lot of the longer paragraphs on our landing page to be into structured bullet points instead. We added more relevant images with appropriate alt text next to them that were keyword specific, and we improved internal linking to more relevant content on the site. And while they are quite, if you're looking for an SEO optimization, that these are quite key towards your optimization plans, we still managed to pull through this with a snippet based on the structured data we applied. Our second example is car hire access insurance. So we were fluctuating between about position 2 and 3 for car hire access insurance initially. We have, the keyword itself has 14,800 in search volume, and at the time, just as a landing page on its own, it was quite bare. We hardly updated the page. It really needs some work anyway. So we looked to improve the copy of the entire landing page. We changed a lot of the points to be into a tick list instead. We added a brand new module called, on our landing page that provides what's actually included within car hire access insurance, because we found that a lot of people didn't really know what it was or what it actually even offered to start with. And we also linked a lot of our guides that do relate to it with accompanying CTAs to bring people back to the page itself. And since then, we've seen a huge growth in CTR, clicks, and organic traffic, which is just an average snippet. So, final thoughts. Rich snippets are still in their infancy, so while I've talked through these great successes with us, it's not guaranteed that these methods are going to work for your website straight away. You're still helping users by providing valuable in-depth content regardless of whether you optimize for rich snippet or not. Google loves structured content, they love tables, they love bullet points, they love data. They also value schema where you can try and implement it, although it's not always available for you to try and do that. It can be a slow burner. Like I said, we've been doing this since July. We've only started to see the benefits of it in the past couple of months. So it does take a little while for you to try and adjust to how it works for you. And you're still, as I say, you are still implementing SEO, great SEO across all your pages regardless. So that's it. Thank you. I couldn't leave that for
I think we've got a fair bit of time for questions. I'll go first if that's okay. Sorry if I missed this at one point if you already mentioned this. There's an interesting thread on Twitter the other day about somebody was saying the problem with feature snippets is because they're basically almost scraping content from a website, putting it on Google. It means the person might not even click through to the website, which obviously is not too much of a concern for you guys because you're showing the proof that you've had increased traffic, so obviously people are clicking through. But what are your thoughts on that in terms of I don't know what I'm trying to say, do you have any issues with it, or do you think it could get depending on what we'll do in the future, it could get worse? Or?
I think it's kind of hit and miss. At the moment it's still in its, it's still quite new, I think. I think Google's still trying to improve how it tries to scrape these data, and it's still trying to show what the most valuable data is, and it's pulling through and it's like, well, this isn't really relevant, it's actually not answering what I wanted. We've had a few examples, so for the keyword, I think it's still even there now, if you Google car insurance quotes, it'll come up and it'll say like, these are the greatest car insurance prices for us at confused.com, which is completely irrelevant to what a user wants. They want to know like more about insurance quotes, and I'm thinking Google's pulling through quotes from a car insurance page, like actual words, not like insurance quotes, policies or anything like that. So it's still got a little bit of learning to do, but I still think it's quite, I think it just does depend on the keyword you're trying to rank for, and it can get quite nitty gritty and bitty, but well, after a while you do get to learn which ones you think are most valuable for you and how you think you're going to optimise them better.
Cool. I've just remembered another thing as well, and then I'll start popping the questions. One of my clients has an issue where they've got a few feature snippets, and it shows the text on their website with the image from another. Have you been caught out with that?
Yeah, I would wait for someone to actually ask me that. I think we've had this issue a couple of times, and rich snippets do change quite often as well, I should say. So, for example, you might be ranking really well for dog walking near me or something really daft, but then next week you rank really well for dog grooming services. Where's the best one? So I think for that, the only way we've tried to do it is making the alt text as specific to the content as it can. Although that's not always the case. We did have a page where we pulled through for it, and it had our confused image, and now it's changed to a mini supermarket image, for example. So I think it's just a bit hit or miss at the moment. We're still trying to test that. I think it's down to more like picture, the alt text and things like that, quite specific. So yeah.
Good stuff. Right, over to you guys. Claire has a question. Yeah, go for it. Mic option.
I think you touched on it, talking about volatility.
Yeah.
Because I thought that I had features in it.
Yeah.
And then the last 3 days, depending on who I ask or where they are, it's cycled between 3 different feature snippets. So, what's your take on that volatility? Is that rank rate? Is that something else? And also, are they influenced by personalization and geolocation?
Wow. Is this all I'm assuming, an incognito? Or do you think it's just a personal
searching
okay.
different places, usually signed up?
Yeah. Okay, I think it might be down to things like rank rate and things like that. What I have noticed is, in things SEO Rush is a good tool when it tells us the SERP volatility. It tells us when apparently there's an impending algorithm update or something like that, which isn't always accurate, but it's still a good marker to go off. When we've looked at that, or any SERP volatility like that, we've seen rich snippets change quite a lot. But I think because rich snippets and that kind of process or method, whatever you want to call it, is still quite new. Not everything is quite concrete, and then it'll just stay there forever. Because we've had it, and like I've said before, we've had it a couple of times. But I think it really, what I'm noticing more is, let's say, Wikipedia, for example, they take a lot of space, even the knowledge graph on the side. IMDb or like really high authoritative websites take these spots. Maybe it's down to like the brand awareness, you know, how Google sees your brand, your website, and the overall authority. It might be also down to that as well, because we also, like I said, we also fluctuate a lot for these kind of things. And it also depends a lot on like what's happening in the news on the day, because you know when like say you Google something and it's like really hot in the news, like cryptocurrency or something, all the news articles appear at first, and then you're like, I can't even see my first position at all. I can't even see it, let alone a rich snippet. So there's also that kind of factor in as well. Yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. Any other questions? Come on, don't be shy. There's got to be somebody.
I guess, given Confused.com is such a big organisation, how do you prioritise volatility?
How I prioritize, sorry.
What to look at, where to start?
Because we have a set of priorities within our company, like product-wise, we've prioritized it based on product or service. We've also prioritized it on the level of traffic that we get. We do understand that maybe a page with higher search volumes and things like that are going to be a little bit more difficult to rank for. But what we've done is kind of split it out in between, like, this is going to be a larger project, put this on the, not the back burner, but we'll address this later. This is a quick win, we'll try and do this now. And then there's like a middle ground in that this is a really valuable keyword. We'll probably put a lot more time into this, and we're going to build it from there. So that's how we've tried to prioritise it. Do bear in mind that there are going to be quite a lot, and you'll need to sift through in terms of like impressions, clicks, things like that. Does that help?
Thank you. Anyone else? I think you got it covered.